Back in mid-July, we had the opportunity to investigate the Worcester Inn in Worcester, New York. Based on our prior research, we knew the inn had an intriguing past, including the spirit of a young child, a hotel waitress who ran over the landlord, and even 3 more recent deaths. The room that we booked is called the Ghost Room. It's the room that has the most reported paranormal activity in the entire inn. However, after a discussion with the current owner, we were granted access to investigate 2 additional rooms that have had reported paranormal activity, Room 217 and Room 218. We had a very eventful and enjoyable night there and are very happy to share with you the evidence and experiences that we collected. Before we started to investigate, we posted a video to our Facebook page, which we usually do. Luckily, the direction that we were shooting in had a mirror directly behind me. If you look closely at that mirror, you can see there are no markings on it. We shot this video around 9 p.m. and then we went downstairs to investigate rooms 217 and 218. We came back to 307 around 11 p.m. to rest and prepare to investigate the inn's most notoriously haunted room when I noticed something. I looked at the mirror and I noticed these streak marks going down it. It almost looks like someone took their fingers and pawed the front of the mirror. Here are the 2 images side by side for comparison. Unfortunately, we had our stationary camera aimed at the rest of the room with the mirror behind it. We reviewed the footage, but whatever caused these marks in the mirror did it very quietly, as we didn't pick up anything on our camera's audio of the event. Being that we didn't capture anything on video or audio, we cannot prove that this is paranormal. It is, however, very compelling. Our final piece of material from room 307 was, however, caught on our equipment, and it pertains to an experience Emily had while alone in the room. As is often the case, activity picks up when you're alone. She was sitting silently in the room, just soaking it all in around 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm in room 218 while this is going on. Out of nowhere, she heard a sound scratching on the door next to her. We caught this event on our stationary camera, which I'll play right now. As you can tell from the video, she immediately responds to it by moving around in the chair when she hears the scratch, and then she stares at the door for quite a while, trying to figure out exactly where the sound came from. We were permitted to set up a camera in the 2nd floor hallway overnight. This hallway has an interesting story connected to it, as the only other paranormal group to ever investigate here caught footage of the door to room 218 opening up several times and an entity sticking its head out. It's reported that the entity's head looked like an animal skull. However, this footage doesn't currently exist anywhere, so we cannot verify its authenticity. Upon hearing a story like that, we definitely wanted to set up a stationary camera in the same spot to try and capture that same event. There are also reports of a ghost child that runs up and down the hallway, so we placed a teddy bear at the end of the hall to see if anything interesting would happen. In 8 hours of footage, the only thing we caught was a series of light anomalies, which we'll show you right now. As I said before, we were given access to rooms 217 and 218. Room 218 is the room where the door was reported to open and close with an entity sticking its head out. When we first walked into this room, we both felt like we'd walked through cobwebs, which really isn't possible because the room was just cleaned. This, however, can be an indicator of spiritual energy. After spending some time together in the room early in the evening, I decided I wanted to come back alone. When I returned, the room felt completely different. It's hard to explain the feeling in there. The closest I can relate it to is that it felt like I was in a staring contest. I didn't feel like whatever was in there is dark or negative, I just feel that it can be territorial. Looking at this footage, I'm not in a lot of it because I'm out of frame. I'm standing close to the far wall. It's almost as if I didn't want it to be able to sneak up behind me. This feeling lasted for about 10 minutes or so, and then it lifted in an instant, just as quickly as it came. We were given access to room 217 due to a more recent death in the hotel. This gentleman was discovered in his room by the staff only a few months ago. He lived at the hotel, so everyone who works there knows him. and this room had a heavy and sad feeling to it that would come and go in waves. We used the Phasma box in this room, which is the live EVP that makes the reverberating sounds to capture spirit voices as they're happening. We caught a very relevant set of words in this room, where a male voice comes through and says what sounds like massive cardiac, which is very relevant considering the recent death that was in this room.
Massive cardiac.
Another piece of audio we caught in room 217 might be one of my favorite pieces of audio we've ever captured. We asked the question, how many spirits are here? And after a long pause, one voice says maybe 11, and then another voice comes in and says probably 12.
How many spirits are in this hotel?
You're probably 11. 12.
Want to tell us your name?
As is always the case when you're going into investigation, we were very excited about this location. However, that excitement just grew and grew after experiencing the location, experiencing the area, talking to the ownership, talking to the staff, getting their experiences, and just experiencing the building for ourselves. We are definitely not done with the Worcester Inn. We are definitely planning a trip back. We have even more questions than we had going in, and ownership and management are very interested in getting the answers that they've been looking for to a lot of the questions they have too. So stay tuned, because we will be going back to the Worcester Inn in the near future.